get rid of the problems that the other system had, and it did have some problems. But one thing it did is it brought everyone together, and this country has to be brought together.
Well, you heard it right there. So let's bring in former Senator Tom Coburn, who is back with us today. It's great to see you, sir.
Great to be with you.
Now, was the president talking a little tongue-in-cheek there? The only way to get people together is to let them spend some more money.
Well, let's see. How well did that work when we were doing earmarks? We put out about $70 billion a year in earmarks. We took your taxpayer money and then sent money to your state to make yourself look good so you could get reelected. There's a real ethical problem with earmarks.
But that's how we do it in America.
No, it isn't. Earmarks is a rather new phenomenon. It was new. It grew. If you go look at the chart of earmarks, it grew exponentially from 1994 to about 2005. I mean, exponentially it grew. And at the same time, the oversight by the members of Congress declined explicitly. In other words, you saw an inverse ratio of oversight doing their actual job versus now, how do I look good at home by sending money home? The other thing to think about is all the donor states versus the recipient states, who gets the majority of the earmarks?
Tell me.
The appropriators.
Okay.
So why does anybody want to be on an appropriation committee? So you can send money at home, so you can name a bridge after you or a highway after you or put the money there so you can feather your own nest so you can, in fact, be there longer. So the point is there's a conflict of interest.
Sure.
Already in terms of Congress. Why would we go back to a system that was absolutely corrupt?
Because, as the president suggested, you could get something done.
So the fact is, what we're saying is we don't have people of integrity and honor in Washington that can actually negotiate a compromise without buying them off.
Yes.
I mean, well, that's not true. That's true of the careerists that are there. It is not true of the non-careerists that are there. So what we need to do is we need to recognize the problem that we have today with the elected officials in Washington. And the answer to that, which 84% of Americans agree with, is term limits. Limit the amount of time they can be there so that they'll actually represent the thoughts that America was built on. Take an everyday person, bring them to Washington with common sense. Now, here's the other problem. In Washington, the career politicians rarely have an idea of the common sense solutions that are available. Yeah, because they have no real world experience.
That's all true, but, Senator, you've got to change the Constitution.
We're getting ready to do that, Stuart.
No, you can't do that.
We're going to have a convention of states within 5 to 6 years where we will, in fact, offer amendments to the Constitution that will go back to the states. We'll say, members of Congress, you have to act responsibly. No longer can you fiscally borrow $1 trillion a year without cutting the $400 billion in waste, fraud, and abuse and duplication that the GAO already says is there.
Is this set in concrete? There will be a convention of the states
we're working
in 5
on
years.
it. We have 12 states now. We'll end up with 20 at the end of this year. We're moving to get the 34 states to call an amendments convention on 3 areas: term limits, scope and jurisdiction of the federal government, and limitation in terms of the fiscal responsibility of the federal government. So they actually have to make the hard choices. Who's making hard choices up there? Nobody.
Okay, I've got to get this in. You look great, Senator. You well? You well?
I am well.
You've come back, haven't you?
I'm fighting.
It's great to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
It really is. You look terrific.
Sign the petition and get your friends and family to do the same. With your full address, your state legislators will know that you really are their constituents in their district. Our success depends on you. So we're inviting you to be part of history. Let's invoke the constitutional solution that's as big as the problem.